What's shaking, cats and chicks? You know who it is. Nick here. My God, it's been a very long time since you guys saw me on camera. I haven't posted in a while. I posted, the last video I posted was a couple weeks ago when I did the Jane and Dean documentary. My award, that documentary was so ass, guys, I'm telling you. It could have been done a lot better. But that's not here what I'm talking about here today. And the video before that was my Charlie Kirk video, which was like, it was like my most, that video blew up, but it was like a very long time ago. But what I'm here to talk about is these guys. And so the last time you saw my record collection was on February 25th, 2024, 2025. At the time, I only had 12 records. And I had mentioned in that video, of course I can't forget, in that video, I had mentioned that I had made a video 2 months prior where I showed my collection off, and I had only had 5 records at this time, but to be genuinely honest with you, I don't remember making that video, but apparently I did. But the reason I mention this is because now I have like 25, 30 records, and that's crazy. So, what I wanted to do for you guys is just show off my collection and explain in detail. So, start off, we have what I believe to be his second album, Pat Boone, with his Pat album from 1957. And what was this from 57? It doesn't say. But okay, this is his third album. Okay, my bad. This is his third album, and it was released in 1957, and it's pretty good. When I had originally first heard about Pat Boone, I didn't really like him. I thought he was pretty square-like, but now I think he's pretty cool. He's actually a pretty good artist, and I think this is like a pretty cool cover here. Here is the back. Of course, we got Pat Boone, the GOAT, and promotes his first 2 albums. We have his debut album, which I would like to have on one, but I've never seen it. This is his second album. Now, Pat album. It's actually a very good album, and I got this album at an antique store when I went to Albany. I got this at an antique store with 3 other records and 245s, which I guess I'll show them off. They're not albums, they're still part of the collection. So, some standout tracks on here. We have a Flip Flop and Fly, which is literally just the Bill Haley song "Shake, Rattle, and Roll." They changed on the lyrics. Look at why he did that. Money Honey. It's better by Wanda Jackson, but it's a good song. I'm in Love Again. Pat Boone, he does a good cover here, but still not as good as the original Fats Domino version or the Ricky Nelson cover. His cover of Rock Around the Clock, of course, the Bill Haley classic that started this whole thing. You know, it created the genre back when he released it in May of '54. Pat Boone's cover, he actually does a really outstanding cover. I had actually seen the live version of this before I'd even heard the recording. I didn't even know it was on this album. I just picked this up randomly because it was Pat Boone. I didn't even know what songs were on here, but yeah, Shotgun Boogie, Tennessee Ernie Ford cover. Good, amazing cover. And this is, overall, like I said, guys, amazing album. Pat Boone with Pat from 1957. Next up, from 1959, we have Queen Connie, with the Rock and Roll Million Stars. No, Queen Connie. I've actually done an album review about this, and comment down below if you guys want me to bring back the album reviews. I only did 2 album reviews, and this was the first. See, I don't have one. Connie, she's like my favorite female artist, but unfortunately, I only have one of her vinyls. But luckily, I got my favorite album by her, which is the Rock and Roll Million Sellers, and it's a good rock and roll album by Queen Connie. And because Connie Francis, she's more of a slow pop, jazz, teen pop, teen idol type artist, but she does some really good rockers here. And there are a few Christopher rock and roll tracks from the '50s that like should have been included on her. Frankie, even though it's not a rock and roll track, she still should have been on here because it was from '59. Her stand out here from '59, but like I said, this is my favorite album by Connie, and the tracks on here. Okay, here's the back cover. Nothing special. Just the '50s. They didn't really start getting like real creative with the back until the '60s, but some standout tracks on here. Well, they're all standouts. I guess I'll just list off all the tracks. Heartbreak Hotel, Elvis cover, Tweedledee, Laverne Baker cover. I Almost Lost My Mind, I Hear You Knocking, Just a Dream, just a Jimmy Clinton cover, Don't Be Cruel, the other Elvis cover. Of course, the reason why I first heard about this album because it has my favorite Kanye song of all time on it, which is the lead track on this album, well, not the lead track, but it's the lead single off this album, and it is of course her most iconic hit, "Lipstick on Your Collar." Queen Connie, yeah. What can I say? Just her best songs, the best album. Some other tracks are "Sincerely," cover of the McGuire Sisters, "Ain't the Shame," Fats Domino, "Silhouettes," "I'm Walking," another Fats Domino cover, and "It's Only a Make Believe." Now, this was one of my first vinyls. Well, it was definitely not one of my first vinyls, but I remember like waiting like a week. It's actually not even like almost a month to get this. Because, like, as you guys know, I live in Georgia. This is coming from, like, northern not California, like, Iowa. Like, it's crazy, guys. We got Queen Connie, Rock and Roll Million Sellers. I was a Connie fan of 2 years before she went viral, so, like, rest in peace to Queen Connie. It's one of my favorite albums in my collection. From 59, we have Connie Francis with the Rock and Roll Million Sellers. Also from 1959, we have the teen idol himself, Fabian, with the Fabulous Fabian. Also, the Connie one I got off Amazon. This one I got at a record store in Thomasville. Not Thomasville, Tifton. And we have Fabian, the teen idol. Not the Ricky Nelson song. Unfortunately, I don't have any Ricky vinyls because I've never seen his vinyls. Makes me kind of angry because Ricky's one of my favorite artists. But as for male teen idols, we only have Fabian. Fabian, he's cool. I like his first album better. But it's just like his second album, either his second or third. Just a real nice picture of Fabian on the back. And, of course, when we open up, we'll get more photos of Fabian Anthony Forte. I saw this photo of him and Connie. He was 17 at the time. She was 24. Yeah. Very disturbing. This is probably one of the first albums to do this, because this is from the 50s. I have to open it up to talk about the track listening. Some standout tracks on here are "Remember Me," good song. "Ain't Misbehaving," "Gotta Make You Mine," "Sincere," "You'll Never Tame Me." That's probably like the best track on this album. You Excite Me, like Any Old Time. Like this is just like I said, his first album is better. "Hold That Tiger" was a good debut album. Probably best debut album as for teen idols go from the 50s. But I don't play this album much. I do play it occasionally. Fabian Forte. He's like 14. Well, he wasn't 14 when this album released. He was like either like 16, I'd say. Fabian, he does a good performance here. It's probably not my favorite album. Not really my favorite album in his discography, but it's still a very good album nonetheless. I got it because it's Fabian, and like I don't listen to this record much, but when I do, it's an alright experience. So from 1959, we have Fabian with Fabulous Fabian. We now go into the 1960s because this album from 1960, not even from the 60s. It is from the 60s. It was released in 1960, but it's a compilation album from the 50s. From 1960, we have probably the Queen of Jazz herself, Queen of Pop, Patti Page with the Golden Hits. I got this record. Here's the back. So we have Patty here. We have a track listing. I got this record at the same antique stores. I got the Pat Boone. This is a very exciting album. I know I was showing this to my friend Leo. He likes Patti Page. He likes crooners. But Patti Page here. This album. You would actually think I wouldn't listen to that much because people don't really think I listen to like the early 50s big band crooner, but I do. A lot of people think I only listen to rockabilly and surf, but that's not true actually. I listen to a lot of genres. Shocking, guys, I know. Patti Page, Queen, and let's get some standout tracks. Actually, all of this album is standout. Patti Page, because like I heard she's right now. So this record is also in like, even though it doesn't have the sleeve, this is extremely good shape. I know you guys can't tell it on camera, but like it's like reflecting. Like this is crazy. Some standout tracks are of course Tennessee Waltz, Cross Over the Bridge, Old Cape Cod, Mockingbird Hill, A Doggy in the Window. Of course, this has all our big hits on it from the 50s. Yeah, this shows how many albums Patti had out at the time. This is all of her albums. All of this list, I know you can't see it, but all this entire list is just listening to her albums up to that point. So yeah, this album I like a lot, and I play it decently. From 1960, we have Patti Page with The Golden Hits. Well, now I'll move on to 1961, back to the Teen Idols, because we have Chubby Checker with Let's Twist Again, like we did last summer. Good old Chubby Checker. And Chubby Checker, this is a fairly recent album I got. This is, like I said, this is from 61. Let me check. I know the album came out in 61. Yeah, it doesn't say. But, Chubby Checker with Let's Twist Again. Chubby Checker, he's a decent artist. He's probably like one of the last 50s artists like still remaining. But most of the tracks on here pretty unforgettable because Chubby Checker, all he really did was like twisting and dancing. He did the dance craze songs during the 60s. The superior part of the 60s, I must add, 1960 to 1965 is the superior era. The Kennedy era. I know it ended in 63, but 60 to 65 was like the best era. And everything else was kind of mid. 1969, y'all gonna hate me, but 1969 was ass. Like, it was not only popular culture-wise in general, but music was like, I don't even know. Linda Ronstadt, she debuted in 69. She's a good artist, but most of what was 69 was complete and utter garbage. But 61, Chubby Checker, Let's Twist Again. Here's the back. For some reason, it lists this as being it does not list this as being Let's Twist Again. Apparently, I don't know, the official title for this apparently is For Your Swingin' Dancin' Party, Volume 3, Let's Twist Again. Yeah, like, what even is this? I don't know. No clue. Some standout tracks are I Could Have Danced All Night, The Jet, The Continental Walk, Fishin', Let's Twist Again, Ball and the Jack, The Ray Charleston. Overall, pretty good album. Also, not really something I listen to much often, but good track nonetheless. Good album nonetheless. From 1961, here is Chubby Checker with Let's Twist Again, also known as For Your Swingin' Dancin' Party, Volume 3, Let's Twist Again. We skipped 62, but we go right on to the surfing era because I like 62. Unfortunately, I don't have any albums from 62, unfortunately. But we go right on to 1963, and I have a lot of albums from 63. And we start with the Boys themselves, the #1 surfing group in the country. From 1963, we have the Beach Boys. Wow, God. The Beach Boys, guys. My all-time favorite band, as you guys know, I love me some surf. And this is actually a first pressing as well from 63. Here's the back. You see we have all the members. Yeah. Surf's up, guys. Here come the Beach Boys, the #1 surfing group in the country. I don't know how long they were the #1 surfing group in the country. I thought Gene and Dino took them quite easily. Well, now this album was released the same month as the Beatles' debut, Please Please Me. I unfortunately don't have that album, but it's pretty good. And the album the Beach Boys album in their discography that predated this was their debut from 1962, Surfing Safari. I unfortunately don't have Surfing Safari either. I never truly thought I would have this, but I found it at my record store. And oh yeah, Chubby Checker one also came from the record store. Not the one in Tipton, but the one I usually go to in Valdosta at the mall. And this is where this one came from. That's where most of my records come from. But just in stereo, I showed this off to my friend Sam, and he said that this is very rare. Because apparently they, like, edited, like, the cover. I don't really know how, but he said it was hard to describe. But this isn't my favorite Beach Boys album, but it is up there, probably, like, top 5. Some standout tracks on here. Well, the whole album is standout, so I guess I'll read all the tracks. Surfing USA, Farmer's Daughter, Miserlou, Stoked, Lonely Sea, Shut Down, Noble Surfer, Honky Tonk, Alana, Surf Jam, Let's Go Trippin', and Finders Keepers. Banger album. This album never misses. It is banger after banger, start to finish. Of course, it advertises their Surfing Safari. This album, Beach Boys, Surfing USA, it's banger after banger. Never misses. I wish I had some Jan and Nina discography, but I've never seen Jan and Nina at all. From 63, we have the Beach Boys with Surfing USA. Also from 63, also by the Beach Boys, we have, I don't have Surfer Girl, but I have the album. Surfer Girl was between Surfer and Surfing USA on the next album. And that would be, fortunately, it's a 70s repressing, but we have She's My Little Deuce Coupe, You Don't Know What I Got, by the Beach Boys. Here's the back. And, I have this photo of this guy with the 32 Deuce Coupe, on my wall. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it. This is I know where it's at, but have this photo on my wall, printed out at the school. No, I should have been like doing a project. I don't really know. But here's the Beach Boys Little Scoop, and this is probably like this is another one where it's like most Beach Boys fans say like, this is a pretty bad album. Well, I won't say it was bad. I know my friend Sam said this album is filler, but actually this album is not filler. And other than one track, which would be The Lonely Man Is Gone, it just kind of throws off the album. This album is another banger after banger, start to finish. Some standout tracks are Ballad of Old Betsy, Be True to Your School. The single version of that song is better, but Car Crazy Cutie, Cherry Cherry Coupe 409, Spirit of America, Our Car Club, The No Go Showboat, and Custom Machine. This is Beach Boys' attempt at it doesn't even say who wrote the I just realized it doesn't even say who wrote the liner notes here, but Beach Boys, Little Scoop. Like I said, this is probably one of their better albums by the group. It was the last album to feature their original member David Marks, and David Marks is better than Alan Jardine anyway. But yeah, this is actually my favorite. It wasn't my first Beach Boys album. This was my second. Surfing USA was my third, but it's an amazing album here. 63 of the Beach Boys with Little Deuce Scoop. Next up we have. We're still in 63, guys. This is actually my last album from 63. What I can say is that the Redcoats, the English, are in swing. Because from November of 1963, the Beatles are coming. The Beatles with their second album, With the Beatles. And, what can I say, really? The Beatles. Now, a lot of people say that the U.S. version of this album, Meet the Beatles, is better. Of course, here's the back. Meet the Beatles had a better back cover, but this is the original England version from England, because the Beatles are an English rock and roll band from the 1960s. So, this is my second favorite Beatles album. My favorite Beatles album is their fourth album, Beatles for Sale from 1964, but I don't have that album. So that's my second favorite Beatles album, with the Beatles from 63. Some standout tracks on this album are It Won't Be Long, All I've Got to Do, All My Loving, Don't Bother Me, Little Child, Please Mr. Postman, Roll Over Beethoven, You Really Got a Hold on Me, I Want to Be Your Man, Devil in Her Heart, Not a Second Time, and the cover of Money. Another album that really and truly, banger after banger, start to finish, it never truly misses. I got this at a music store in the mall when I went to Florida. I can't really remember where it was in Florida. I think it started like a C. I don't really remember, because I know it was not Claremont, but I can't remember where I was. I was seeing my biker uncle and his fam. But yeah, his old lady and his children, Logan and Jeremy, and Logan's 3-year-old daughter. Here we are with the Beatles. From 64, we have this like compilation of sorts of very weird compilation. Chubby Checker, Bobby Rydell, Dee Sharp, the Dovells, the Orlons, the Dovells, and Joanne Campbell. And this is this weird compilation. It's just called. The official title is literally just Golden Hits by Official Artists. Very weird compilation. It's on this label called like a Wine Code. I've never heard of this label, but then again, I haven't really done my research on the label either. I just know about this album because this is the other album that I got at the antique store with the Patty Page and the Pat Boone. I like this album. I don't really play it much, but it's a decent compilation. Good 60s compilation of some good artists. I don't really have much to say on this album. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this is from 1964. And probably one of the best albums out of 64 compilation-wise. There wasn't many compilations during the 60s, actually. Until the later 60s, which was trash. Complete and utter garbage. But yeah, from 1964, we have decent compilation. We have the original hits. Golden hits by the original artists. Now, next up, we're back in England. But we're out of Liverpool and we're in London. Because we have England's newest hit makers. And those would be Mick Jagger and his band, the Rolling Stones. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the original English version of this album, which was just a self-titled album. But, I do have here's the back. I do have the American equivalent on London Records on Decca. England's newest hit makers is the Rolling Stones. And, this album is very good. I was tweaking. I thought it said, produced by Phil Spector for a second. I was tweaking. But, yeah, the Rolling Stones. And, yeah. I like the Rolling Stones. I don't want to listen to them much, but I do like the Rolling Stones. I like this album. I don't really listen to the Rolling Stones past 66, 67. But the Rolling Stones, I like this album. Very good album. Some standout tracks are Not Fade Away, Route 66, I Just Want to Make Love to You, Now I've Got a Witness, I'm the King Bee, Carol, like Can I Get a Witness, Walking the Dog, You Can Make It If You Try. Like, those are some standout tracks on this album. Like I said, here's the back. I think it's got a pretty cool back. It's reverse in the camera. It's probably not reverse for you guys. We have a pretty good album here. I got this one at the record store. The main record store I go to in Valdosta. 1964, we have the Rolling Stones with England's newest hitmakers. My God, we're at 20 minutes already. But also from 60, was this 64 or 65? I think this is 65 because it has some 65. Yes. Yeah, there's some 65. We have on Capitol Records from my homeland, the U.S. United States of America. They have Beatles 6 by the Beatles. This is the only U.S. Capitol album I have by the Beatles. Now, for those who don't know, in the U.S., the Beatles albums they had a different discography, and this album by the Beatles, this is the album that the U.S. got instead of yeah. So this is the first album of '65 in the U.S. and some standout tracks on this album. It's all over the place, really, because it's basically a compilation, but marketed as a studio album. Some standout tracks are 8 Days a Week, Kansas City, Words of Love, I Don't Want to Spoil the Party, Every Little Thing, What You're Doing, You Like Me Too Much, Tell Me What You See, Bad Boy, and Disney Miss Lizzie. Now, like, this album, it's a random mix of, like, stuff from Beatles for Sale, and the 65 singles, and there's some like 64 and 65 singles. There's some tracks from the Help album on here. It's very weird, but I like this album. I don't play it much, but I'm a big Beatles fan. Beatles are my second favorite band, so. 1965, we have the Beatles with an album that I also got at the record store. My local, that being Beatles 6. Now from 65, we have. I got this album on my birthday, funnily enough. Actually, well, I didn't really get it from my. I didn't even wrap this. I just grabbed it because we were at Valdosta, right? And we went to another antique store, not the antique store in Albany, not my usual store in Valdosta. I got this one for like $5 or $3. I can't particularly remember. Well, I took for the cover, but it also has some very good music on it as well. My friend Sam knows about this. He actually owns a copy because at this point, when you collect vintage records, who doesn't own a copy of this one? From 1965, we have Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass with Whipped Cream and Other Delights with Dolores Erickson here on the cover. Very pretty girl covered in whipped cream. Here's the back. We have my boy Herb Alpert, the GOAT. And this is like instrumental mainly. Well, all instrumental. But it's a pretty good album. I remember one day I was doing my homework and I was listening to this album. This was the other day. My mom walked in and I was like, "Come, mother, what do you think about this album?" She was like, "This album puts me to sleep." I was like roasting her. Because this is a pretty good album. And like, of course, I like the cover. Dolores Erickson, very pretty girl. And some standout tracks on here are A Taste of Honey, Tangerine, Whipped Cream, of course, Love Potion number 9, Lollipops and Roses. It's just a amazing album. And like it's an album. It's honestly like a mid album, but it's decent. Nothing I listen to much, but I like the album. I really do. And when the time calls for it, I'll listen to it. From 65, here's Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass with Whipped Cream and Other Delights. We're now moving to the 1966. We have my first Beach Boys album ever. From 66, we have a very mid compilation, if I'm being honest. Honestly, an ass on compilation. It's really the best of the Beach Boys, Volume 1, the U.S. version. And, the version they made in England was a lot better. Because it's just terrible of a compilation, like, my God. Let's look at the tracks on there. I'm not even going to list all the standout tracks. I'm just going to list all the tracks, because tell you guys think about this compilation. They said this is the best of the Beach Boys, but is it really? Because this is what we have on here, guys. Surfing USA. And that's good, obviously. Catch a Wave, Surfer Girl, Little D Scoop, In My Room, Little Honda. In My Room, I don't really listen to that much opinionated on it, but Side of the Womb, it's good, it's alright. Typical Beach Boys compilation, very nice. Little Honda, I don't know why they included it on there, it's a good track, but like, there's no reason. Side 2 is when stuff get a little weird, because we have Fun, but then we have an honestly terrible track, The Warmth of the Sun. Who put this on here? Louie Louie. That's just a cover by the Kingsmen. Like, why is this on here? Kiss Me Baby. It's a good track, but it's really the best of the Beach Boys, if we're being honest with ourselves. You're So Good to Me. It's a very good track off of their Summer Days and Summer Nights. Once again, is it truly the best of the Beach Boys? Like, who are we getting ourselves here? Golly. You're So Good to Me. This one just in a windy. Good track off All Summer Long. All Summer Long's my favorite Beach Boys. I mean, this is a very highly ranked Beach Boys track, but once again, out of all the tracks you could have included, is this really the best of the Beach Boys? Like, who are we kidding ourselves here? You're just missing a lot of great tracks, like Surfing Safari. It's just not on here. Shut Down 409. Like, golly. And this is the first Beach Boys album I ever owned, but, like, my God, who chose the tracks on here? Like, what an abominable track listing. Like, there's some amazing songs on here, but, like, truly, guys, some of these songs, I'm left thinking, a good track. But is this truly the best of the Beach Boys? Because some of these tracks on here, guys, I'm telling you, guys and girls, these tracks, they range from amazing peak Beach Boys songs, peak songs of the 60s in general, to just complete another garbage. Like, we're kidding ourselves here. Like, 66, best of the Beach Boys album. Should make a rant on that album. From 66, we have an album that I have not played in so damn long. Johnny Rivers with Changes. 66, Johnny Rivers with Changes. Actually, an amazing album. I really like it. But I think this was one of the first albums I bought with my own money. But Johnny Rivers Changes, like, of course, has the famous hit, The Poor Side of Town. Like I said, this is an album where we're not kidding ourselves. Because this is actually an amazing album. I haven't listened to it in a song, but I might have to listen to it again soon. Johnny Rivers here. Here's the back. Most people know Johnny Rivers from his Chuck Berry cover, Memphis, Tennessee. But I'm like usually I'll be roasting. I'm like, are we kidding ourselves here, guys? But like, nah, actually just like an amazing album. Ugh. Okay, guys, hold up. There we go. Problem solved. Anyway, so some yeah, what the heck? Anyway, some standout tracks on this album are oh, How Funny. I did not realize this until now, but the guy who wrote the liner notes here is one Lou Adler, and if you guys don't know who Lou Adler is, famed husband of Shelley Fabares, Michelle and Marie Fabares, guys. He was a good friend of Herb Alpert, who made Whipped Cream, and him and Herb Alpert were good friends with Jan and Dean, and they produced their first album, The Jan and Dean Sound, from 1960, which I sadly don't have on vinyl. But it's crazy that Lou Adler, famed husband of Shelley Fabares, famed friend of Jan and Dean, and the Whipped Cream creator, Herb Alpert, would write the liner notes for Johnny Rivers, Poor Side of Town, Changes album from 1966. But some standout tracks on here are By the Time I Get to Phoenix, A Taste of Honey, The Days of Wines and Roses, California Dreamin', Do You Wanna Dance, Cast Your Fate to the Wind, The Poor Side of Town, If I Were a Carpenter, Softly As I Leave You, The Shadow of Your Smile, Strangers in the Night, and Get It Ready for Tomorrow. That's all peak, guys. Start to finish. Johnny Rivers Changes, baby. I'm telling you, because what you gonna do when Johnny Rivers runs wild on you? You know what I'm saying, cats and kids? Like, woo, wowie, Johnny Rivers. Golly, Johnny Rivers Changes. I'm telling you, he looks like a guy who would vape, but this album came out in 66. The vape wasn't been until 2009. So, 1966, I was about to say 2009. From 1966, here's Johnny Rivers with Changes. I'll be right back. I need to do something desperately. Guys, I'm tweaking. I'm actually tweaking. Like, something needs to be done. The reason I'm doing it, I gotta calm down. Just like in my photos. I just gotta calm down. I gotta start looking at vinyls. Before I do something unthinkable. So I gotta calm myself down. If I hit myself or something, I don't really know. I'm gonna chug a bit of this real quick and I'll be right back, everybody. Okay, everybody, I think I'm calm down. I'm back. Your boy Nick is back. Now we start off with an album that Came out in 1967 in February. Most people only bought this album for the cover. Good music as well. 1967, we have the Queen, Nancy Sinatra, with Sugar Town. Good old Nancy Sinatra. My friend Leo, the Black Canadian, he loves Nancy Sinatra. We were in a voice call on Discord with him, and me, and our friends Sam and Maddie, and amazing cover for the very skimpy pink bikini, very nice. Oh, very nice. But what I was talking about. We paraded Nancy Sinatra, and my friend Leo, he started like howling and moaning, and he was like, "Oh, mommy Sinatra." And me and Sam and Maddie, we were like all roasting him because he's weird and he's strange. But anyway, fellas, just admire the cover here, golly gee. And some the standout tracks on here are "Sweet Georgia Brown," "Oh You Beautiful Doll," "All by Myself," "Coastin'," "Let's Fall in Love," "What I'll Do," "Sugar Town." Like, there's not any bad songs on there. Like, this album, it's another good to start to finish. I want more Nancy albums. But 1967, we have Nancy Sinatra with Sugar Town. Also not from 67, but also from Nancy Sinatra from 68. We have the soundtrack to her television special. We have Moving with Nancy from 68. And this is my first Nancy album. And it has, like, some pretty good tracks on it. She collaborates with, like, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Lee Hazelwood on this album. And it's some standout tracks, you know. Some standout tracks are, I Gotta Get Out of This Town, Wait Till I See Him, Younger Than Springtime, Some Velvet Morning, See the Little Children, Friday's Child, Jackson, what I'd say, like, here's the back, you know, Nancy Sandra Sinatra, born in 1940, you know. Good friend with, like, a bunch of girls from the 60s, a bunch of guys from the 60s. Well, she was friends with everybody, really. She did the movie with Elvis. Nancy Sinatra, she's pretty cool. From 1968, we have Nancy Sinatra with Moving with Nancy. From 68, we have truly an oddity, Chuck Berry's Golden Hits. Not really an oddity per se, but an oddity in his discography. Because you see, Chuck Berry, we mostly know him for his 50s and early 60s discography when he was with Chess Records. But he went to either the middle late 60s, he went to Mercury Records. He couldn't take his, like, famous songs with him, so he had to record all these hits. And unfortunately, we don't have any Chuck Berry albums. But they don't have any of his, like, 50s albums at the record store, but that's a compilation. But it's actually a pretty famous compilation. Pretty famous because the tracks on here are trash. Well, no, they're not bad per se. I like all the songs. I just don't particularly like the re-recordings. And I like all these songs because I'm a big Chuck Berry fan. You know, Chuck Berry, he literally is my cousin. But, like, the re-recordings just aren't as good. I thought Jim Neidhart wrote the liner notes there, but they're truly just, like, not as good as his original 50s recordings. I'm a big Chuck Berry fan. Of course, I would always support my cousin. And I like all the re-recordings on here. They're just simply not as good. Some standout tracks on here are Sweet Little 16, Memphis, Tennessee, School Days, Maybelline, Back in the USA, Johnny B. Good, Rock and Roll Music All Over Beethoven, Carol, 30 Days. Good album. I don't know why I was bashing it. My friend Madison, she likes Chuck Berry as well. Overall, good album. From 1968. We have Bill Haley and his Comets with... This is the album that actually revived rock and roll after it was dying. From 1960, we have Bill Haley and his Comets with Bill Haley's Greatest Hits on Decca Records. There's some pretty gals here on the cover. And this album, here's the back. That's nothing special. It just kind of details how Bill Haley, he created rock and roll and revived it. But this has all his greatest hits on there. And this will... I need to play this album because I haven't played this album in a while. But, some standout tracks on here are Rock on the Clock, of course, 13 Women, See You Later, Alligator, Choo Choo Boogie, Razzle Dazzle, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, Skinny Minnie. Like, it has all the man's hits on here. Not all the hits, of course. Not like all his early hits, but, like, you want Bill Haley. Just get this at this point if you can't find his original albums from the 50s. So, yeah, this is actually an amazing album. I don't really particularly know. I don't play it as much. So, 68. Here is Bill Haley and his Comets with Bill Haley's Greatest Hits. Next up, we have an album from 1969. And it's an album that truly every record collector has. I got this from Walmart, shockingly, because the Walmart record selections are complete and utter accumulating, guys. I'm telling you, mediocre at best. But we have the Beatles. We're back again with the Beatles. My last Beatles album, we have their well-known album, Abbey Road. Abbey Road, I have the shirt of it, I have the album, I have the poster. I used to not like Abbey Road that much, but now that I have the vinyl of it, I listen to the album. It's actually pretty good. Pretty iconic album. Definitely not my favorite Beatles album. Probably not even in my top 10. Maybe in my top 10. I'm not really sure. Some standout tracks on this album. I actually don't think this album is perfect. Shockingly, I actually prefer side 1 to the Abbey Road medley from side 2. But some standout, depending on my game guild, I don't really know. But some standout tracks on this album are Come Together, Something, Maxwell Silver Hammer, Oh Darling, Octopus's Garden, You Ever Give Me Your Money, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam, She Came Through the Bathroom Window, Carry That Weight, The End, Her Majesty, like, classic album. You know, not really the Beatles I prefer. Not really my particular music taste. But, classic album. Truly a classic album. Next up, not really an album, but it is a compilation. It's a compilation. It's a soundtrack to my all-time favorite movie. From 1973, we have 41 original hits from the soundtrack of American Graffiti. This is the first time I ever wrote with my own money. And golly. Good memories. Wow. What can I say? If you haven't watched the movie American Graffiti, you gotta watch it. It's the movie that started the rock and roll revival. And it's from 1973. The tracks on here. Is this the right order? Not at all. But the tracks on here, these are not in order, but the tracks on here, I'm not gonna say like, okay, these are like it's a standout track. Some of us all the tracks because it's just actually, if you want 50s rock and roll, just get the American Graffiti soundtrack at this point. What we got on here? We have I'm not gonna name all the songs; they'll take forever. But just for artists, even we have Bill Haley, The Crests, Buster Brown, Del Shannon, Flash Cadillac and the Continental Kids, The Diamonds, The Beach Boys, Chuck Berry, The Monotones, The Clovers, The Cleftones, The Big Bopper, The Platters, The Five Satins, The Diamonds. I already named them, but I'm goofy, bro. So who else? The Regents, The Silhouettes, Buddy Holly and Mark Denning, The Platters. Who else? Yeah, Lee Dorsey, Buddy Knox, The Starlighters, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, The Heartbeats, The Fleetwoods, The Flamingos, Bobby Freeman, The Skyliners, The Tempos, Johnny Burnett, The Spaniels, Booker T and the MGs, the Orioles, and Come Go With Me and the Del Vikings, golly. Rock and roll and doo-wop extravaganza. 41 original hits from the soundtrack. American Graffiti. Amazing film. Perfect film. Now this next album has a pretty funny story to do it. From 1973, we have Linda Ronstadt with Don't Cry Now. Not a lot of people know Linda Ronstadt. Shockingly, because she's one of the most famous artists from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So Don't Cry Now album from 73. I have 2 Linda Ronstadt albums, and that's a funny story why. In April, I went to the car show. I know that famous photo of me standing next to the 57 Chevy. At that same car show, I went to a record booth, and they had Corey Records, and they had a lot of Linda Ronstadt, and I picked this one and an album I'll show later. And the guy just gave it to me for free. The crate said $9, and I was willing to pay, but he was like, I see you got you some albums there. I was like, yes, sir. He was like, we can have them. I was like, for free? He was like, yeah, of course. So I just ran with the albums. Well, Linda Ronstadt, Don't Cry Now. Amazing album from 1973. I don't listen to it much, but it's an amazing album. Some standout tracks on here. I Can Almost See It, Love Has No Pride. The second updated version is Silver Threads and Golden Needles, Desperado, Don't Cry Now, Sail Away, Colorado, The Fast One, Everybody Loves a Winner, and I Believe in You. What can I say, really? This guy, Colin D'Angelo, look at these nuts. Well, he always says Lisa Ronstadt, but that's not her name. Her name is Linda Maria Ronstadt. And this is her album, Don't Cry Now, from 1973. 1974, we have another album that kind of kickstarted the rock and roll revival. Daddy-o, you know, we have the Beach Boys with the Endless Summer, this compilation. Pretty good compilation. Amazing compilation, actually. A lot better than the Beach Boys. Best of the Beach Boys Volume 166, man, you know. And the tracks on here, banger after banger, man, I'm telling you. Surfing Safari, Surfer Girl, Catch a Wave, The Warmth of the Sun, Surfing USA, Be True to Your School, and it's the single version as well, so it is improved. Little Do Scoop, In My Room, Shutdown, Fun, fun, fun. I get around. The girls on the beach. Windy. Let 'em run wild. Don't worry, baby. The California girls. Girl, don't tell me. Help me, Rhonda. You're so good to me. And we've been having fun all summer long. Oh, my beach boys. We live the endless summer. Amazing compilation. A lot better than the best of the Beach Boys 66. So I swear to God, I'm gonna make a rant video about that, guys. I got this from the record store. It's my most recent album, my most recent pickup. I hope to go back to the record store soon. I need more vinyls, man. I never can have that many vinyls. But 1974, we have Beach Boys with Endless Summer. 1976, I don't have more American Graffiti, but I have American Graffiti Volume 3, golly gee. This is actually just a straight compilation. There's no 3 American Graffiti films, there's only 2. And really, I only count 1. But, of course, once again, I'm not going to name all the artists on here, but I will name, I'm not going to name all the tracks on here, but I will name all the tracks. This album consists of the Beach Boys, Little Richard, the Eldorados, Jerry Butler, Jody Reynolds, the Everly Brothers, Joe Jones, Ronnie Hawkins, Johnny Tillotson, Richie Valens, Jimmy Rogers, Lenny Welch, Wilbur Harrison, Dorsey Burnett, Annette Kleinbart, and the Teddy Bears, Kathy Young, Hollywood Agrals, Little Anthony and the Imperials, the Olympics, Fetterman, Buddy Holly, Jewel Atkins, Chris Montez, Bobby Helms, Harold Dorman, Jimmy Reed, and Tony Fisher. Wow. Amazing lineup. Another rock and roll pop and doo-wop extravaganza, baby. You know what I'm laying on you. You dig what I'm saying, honey. We have American Graffiti, Volume 3 from 1976. 1978, we have The Man, The Myth. What a man, I'm telling you. Such a shame he went out the way he did. Del Shannon. One of the artists. Truly one of a kind. Here's the back. Man, this album never misses. Runaway, Hats Off to Larry. Little Town Flirt, Stranger in Town, Do You Want to Dance, Keep Searching. Handyman, Two Kinds of Teardrops, and So Long, Baby, golly. Del Shannon, man. I'm sorry you just got such a serious tone, but man, and the only reason I have this is because, his first album, it was released in 1961, it was on Big Top, it was called Runaway with Del Shannon, and that's one of my all-time favorite albums, you know, so really, it is one of my favorite all-time albums. I would consider it like one of the greatest albums of all time, and I do have that at the record store, for $125, I don't have any money, I'm broke, so I got this compilation, and of course I love Del Shannon. My friend Adriana, she likes Del Shannon. Del Shannon, he's really cool, he kicks some serious ass, you know, Del Shannon, with, the very best of Del Shannon, the golden hits. Next up, we have an album from 1979. I thought I would never own an album by this artist, but right off the set of Happy Days, we have Suzi Quatro with 4-letter words, golly. I never thought I would have Suzi Quatro LP, golly gee. Very nice. Listen, I'm telling you, cats again, you see what I'm laying down, you know. Some standout tracks on here. At this point, the standout tracks, we're just gonna name all the tracks because they're all standout. They're all good. This album never misses. But that's typical for Suzi, though. Her 70s albums, they never miss. All the tracks. I've Never Been in Love, Mind Demons, She's in Love with You, Hollywood, Four Little Words, Mama's Boy, Starlight Lady, You're My Lover, Space Cadets, and Love Hurts. Golly. Once again, this album never misses. I got this album on the record store. Digging on them, laying on you, cats and kittens. Real groovy record. It truly is real swell, real nifty. From 1979, we have Suzi Quatro with Susie, another 4-letter words. From 1980, we have Linda Ronstadt with Mad Love, and I got this record for free. Once again, the tracks on this album, I just realized it doesn't have the, well, actually it does. The tracks on this album, does it, like, nah. So, the tracks on this album, I listened to this album in school, I'm not even joking. That's Linda Ronstadt. She's one of the best artists. And on this album, we have Mad Love, Party Girl, How Do I Make You, I Can't Let Go, Hurt So Bad, Look Out For My Love, The Cost of Love, Justine, Girl Talk, Talking in the Dark. Like, it's really an amazing album, I'm telling you. This is actually a new wave album, Linda Ronstadt. She mainly did a country and rock and roll during the 60s and the 70s folk type music, but this is her new wave album. Good album to open up the 80s. only 80s albums that I have. Only 80s studio album, because the next album is from the 80s, and I got scammed. Bill Haley in the comments, greatest hits. Truly, what a scam. This is one of the first record. This is the second record I ever bought with my own money. Not at all. Never on this record does it say it's a live album. It markets itself as a compilation. But this is a live album. And this is from 1981. And I'm not even... Okay, this is from 1980. This is Linda Ronstadt, Mad Love. I'm not even going to do this at this point. Scam. From 1982, we have the Stray Cats, Rocky Belly, we're gonna rock this town. We have The Boys, the Legend, Brian Setzer, Slim Jim, and Lee Rocker. We have the Stray Cats, right out of, Brighton. The Stray Cats with Baby, I'm Built for Speed, baby. From 1982, I got this album at the same place where I got Nancy Sinatra, Moving with Nancy, and Fabian, the Fabulous Fabian. Oh my god, I'm tweaking again. I gotta get better. I get this like this sometimes. Anyway, the Stray Cats are one of my favorite rockabilly bands. One of my favorite 80s artists altogether. I like the 80s like synth pop and new wave, but when it comes to the neo rockabilly revival, man, you can't get much better than this. Some of the tracks on here, once again, all good. So I'm not gonna list off the standout tracks and list all the tracks because they're all good. Here is the back. So the tracks on here are Rock This Town, Built for Speed, Rev It Up and Go, Stray Cat Strut, Little Miss Prissy, Rumble in Brighton, The Runaway Boys, Lonely Summer Nights, Double Talking Baby, You Don't Believe in Me. There are Eddie Cochran cover on this album, Jenny, 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 and Baby Blue Eyes. So another album that never misses. It is a banger after banger from start to finish. That is Brian Setzer and the Stray Cats with Built for Speed, their debut album. Now we have the first two albums I ever got this Christmas last year. My second album ever. From 2018 compilation, we have 20 Greatest Hits. Dion with The Wanderer. Now Dion, he's my favorite artist. Golly, I haven't listened to Dion in so long. This is my second album. Golly, 2018 is when the compilation came out. The tracks on here, I don't know why they're missing Donna the Prima Donna, one of his most popular songs, but I really do like the selection on here. They have a good, the first half of the album is his stuff from the Dion and the Belmonts, and then they go into solo stuff. It ranges from 58 to 63, and the tracks on here, are I Wonder Why, No One Knows, A Teenager in Love, Oliver's Prayer, Where or When You Wish Upon a Star, And the Still of the Night, Lonely Teenager, Having Fun, The Kissing Game, Run Around Sue, The Wanderer, The Majestic, Lovers Who Wander, I Was Born to Cry, Little Diane, Love Came to Me, Sandy, and Come Go With Me, and Ruby Baby. Ruby Baby. And I like Tony Sheridan's cover of Ruby Baby that he did with the Beatles. But sadly, I don't have any of Dion's albums from the 60s, or the 50s, or the 70s, or the 80s. Or Dion's albums continuing. So he's still alive, he's still releasing music. My friend Zach, he has like all the Dion albums. It's crazy, man. 2018, Dion, The Wanderer. Now we move on. Oh, no, this is not from 2018. This is from 2015. Take back everything I said. This is from 2015. What is from 2018, right? It's the first album my first ever record. The very best of my second favorite artist. The very best of Buddy Holly. I remember when I first opened this, I wasn't expecting to get a record player, and I got the record player. I opened these records before I got the record player, funnily enough. But yeah, I got on some. I opened this and I opened the Dion like a couple weeks later. I opened the record player. Like, it's crazy. I don't listen to this album truly as much as I need to. I listened to it the other night when I was like binging all my records. But here's the back. The tracks on here. That'll Be the Day. Peggy Sue. I Fade Away. Every Day. Oh Boy. Listen to Me. Raining in My Heart, Blue Days, Black Nights, Words of Love, Heartbeat, It Doesn't Matter Anymore, Maybe Baby, I'm gonna Love You Too, You're So Square, Baby, I Don't Care, Rock Me Baby, Well Alright, True Love Ways, Lonesome Tears, Rock Around with Ivy, and it closes with, possibly one of his best songs, Rave On. Golly, Buddy Holly. That's all my records. Golly. That was a real nice trip, wasn't it? So, I'll probably be going to bed soon. I don't particularly know what time it is. But, that was a really interesting video. I went from, like, being, like, soft and, like, serious like I am now to, like, being an absolute tweaker. But But that's just me, man. That's my personality, you know. I guess I'll chug this for all time's sake, no one in the video. So, in honor of Connie Stevens, yeah, in honor of Connie Stevens, cheers.